Isagi gets the ball with sweat pouring down his face and his eyes having the most demonic look I've ever seen. The clock is ticking down and the tension is absolutely crazy. Now right here, this is where I expect my hero to go ahead and just smash the guy who played him dirty. Because I mean, it's only natural. But instead, at the very last minute, Isagi goes completely off course, deciding to attack the person who's the strongest in the room. He hits the ball straight into Kira's face, and this is where I stop my computer and I'm just like, what the hell just happened? I press play again, and Isaga and Kira themselves are shocked at what just happened. Isagi didn't even realize what he did, and he just said his body acted on instinct. And it's at this moment that I get so hooked to this show. All I can say to myself is this is going to be super interesting. Let me explain why. I've always been a huge fan of anime. Personally, I don't know when it started, but to be honest, I feel like I can trace it back to the good old days of me coming home to watch Toonami on Cartoon Network and watching Goku power up for episodes and episodes. And at the time, I didn't even realize I was watching anime. Fast forward to high school and I finally realized what anime was. And lucky for me, I got into anime right around the so-called golden era. The big three were high in demand. Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece were making super high quality episodes, and everyone was enjoying anime. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get to watch One Piece, but that's a whole other story altogether. Anyway, I got to enjoy the moment and everything felt perfect. For the next couple of years, I was watching anime religiously. And I mean, the big three continued for a very long time. So basically, I really enjoyed the era. But all good things come to an end. And when the big three slowly died down, there was a void that felt like it needed to be filled. Now, to be fair, I know there are lots of amazing shows that existed. And I was able to enjoy a couple of them. But nothing quite hit home the same way. And after that, I experienced nothing close to that. Now, if I'm being honest, Attack on Titan was the closest thing to come my way, but unfortunately, it wasn't really consistent enough and it went on a very long pause, so it just didn't have the same effect. So fast forward to 2022, and my friend tells me about this soccer anime that he's been watching. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I really wasn't particularly excited about it because I'm more of a shonen power-up kind of guy. I like superhero stuff, expansive universes, really in-depth storytelling with lots of world building. But I did enjoy Kuroko no Basket. So I was like, okay, I'll just try it this one time. He kept pressuring me, so I was like, why not? I decided to give it a shot, and let me tell you, this was one of the best decisions I made for that year. It was like no other sports anime I had seen before. It had a unique story, and it felt like effort was being made to take it from a different angle. It was really after the first episode that I got addicted. It was really unexpected. I didn't know the show was going to take this turn. I mean, the thing that makes Blue Lock stand out to me is that it's really trying its best to tell a different story. For the longest time, a lot of shonen anime and manga have been preaching the same thing: teamwork, friendship, and so on. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But it feels like over time, nobody's really trying to tell unique or new stories anymore. It's like everyone wants to stick to the exact same formula. Now, I know there's some underground anime and a couple of one-off series that I probably haven't seen, but I mostly watch popular shonen anime. So please guys, don't come at me in the comments. I'm just sharing my experience. But Blue Lock made me feel so refreshed. Hearing a new theme for once was extremely refreshing. And while I may not agree with Ego's ideology, it was really interesting to see how he trained these young men to follow their egos. I mean, just look at our protagonist Isagi. He's usually such a nice guy, but once he starts playing, he becomes a totally different person. It's like he turns into this ruthless soccer machine, and honestly, that's what makes this show so addicting. It's not a regular sports anime anymore. It's almost like an effort is being made to give us something new. From the first episode, we see where Isagi makes a critical decision in an important match. Instead of being ego-driven or selfish, he makes a pass at the very last minute, and his teammate doesn't get the shots. And that's where we see his dream crushed by a player with a far more promising future, Kira. Later though, he's invited to an opportunity to enter a program known as Blue Lock. He sees Kira outside, and the two make some friendly talk, and we start to think, okay, maybe this can be the start of a friendship, and this is where the madness begins. We're introduced to the orchestrator of Blue Lock, a weird-looking skinny guy called Ego, and he explains to the players that the purpose of Blue Lock is to create the best striker, and to do that, they won't be playing conventional games. It's about becoming selfish, egocentric, and believing in your own abilities. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Maybe we can see where this isn't a practical approach, but honestly, Just hearing like a new thought process felt really different.
Oh my god! Wow!
This wasn't a villain story. So we see he is immediately contested by Kira, who says this isn't how football is played. But to our surprise, it's our protagonist Isagi who makes the first move after hearing the speech. It's as if those words were exactly what he wanted to hear. He wasn't blinded by some idealistic dream or some moral pursuit. He was simply impressed by the idea of becoming the best at his game, and he just makes the move. One of the most standout scenes in this season, and I have to go ahead and say, spoiler alert guys, is Isagi inspiring Shigiri. So Isagi and Shigiri are having a conversation before their big match, and Shigiri, who is sulking all the time, opens up to Isagi about the fact that he has an ACL injury. Now, I don't really know much about ACL injuries, but after doing a little bit of research, it's a very common injury among athletes and it has some serious implications. So basically, if he pushes himself too hard, he might not be able to play ever again. We hear more about his backstory and how he was a prodigy at the time, but due to his injury, he can't push himself anymore out of fear of losing his ability to play. So Isagi, being our typical shonen protagonist, gives him the usual, just keep on trying, just push yourself. And it pretty much ends with Shigiri telling him, yo, just shut up. Anyways, fast forward to the match, and Team Z, which is Isagi's team, is going against Team W, which has two of Shigiri's previous teammates. They are picking on Shigiri and enjoying the fact that he can't play as well anymore because he used to outshine them when he was on their team. One of the Team Z players cheated and soloed the entire team, and everything looked like it was going to crap. So you'd think in regular shonen fashion, Isagi would come along, give a nice pep talk to his friends, really motivate Shigiri, but it's actually the total opposite. Isagi refuses to give up, even with one of the players totally selling out his team, and Shigiri watches in total disbelief, asking, yo, why is this guy trying so hard? And that's when the inspirational music comes on, and then Isagi passes the ball to him, and right there you think you're going to see, okay, some friendship talk or some motivation. He literally looks at him with actual demonic looking eyes and pushes him out the way right after passing him the ball, and I'm just sitting there like, and that's where you see this anime isn't about arbitrary morals and values. He wants to win, and honestly, his behavior at the time makes total sense. He's not a bad guy, but on the field, he has zero time for nonsense. And that's when something starts to snap in Shigiri. He realizes, what's the point of being afraid and living like a total coward? Why not give it your all, even if it's your last chance? And in one of the literal most beautiful scenes I've ever watched in anime, he literally breaks the metaphorical chains that are holding him back and unleashes his godlike speed. And it really hit me. I mean, this guy wasn't motivated by some fake friendship mumbo jumbo, just giving him this long speech from somebody you barely know. This is someone who loves what he's doing. And even if Isagi is an absolute menace on the field, off the field, he's actually a pretty nice guy. And that's when you see that Isagi's attitude of get out my way is just a part of the game. Like that's just how it is. When you're into your passion, you don't have time to be like, on your moral high ground or babying up characters. It's just about getting what needs to get done, just about giving your all. And I think this specific anime is one of the most realistic portrayals in the anime world that I have ever seen. The characters aren't just black and white or good and bad. They make tough decisions, and I feel like the stakes are very high for them. It's as if their entire world is on the line. Even though the show is just about playing football, it's really incredibly intense and captivating to watch. And I believe we need more anime that pushes the boundaries and shows characters making complex and critical decisions. It's important to remember that even though anime is animation, it can still be serious and have thought-provoking ideas. It's not just about good guys versus bad guys. It's about characters and their struggles and how they navigate the world around them. I think it'd be really great to see some anime that tackle different nuances and explore complexities. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the magic, I love the powers, but let's add some more to that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but personally, that's something that I love seeing in Blue Lock. But hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments.